Okay, today we'll start with human eye. Okay, it has been deleted by the CBSE for this particular year. Okay, but still, as it is there for the competitive exam, so here we are going to study human eye. Okay, now let's take out your book. From the book only we are going to study. The human eye is one of the most valuable and sensitive sense organs. It enables us to see the wonderful world and the colors around us. On closing the eyes, we can identify the objects to some extent by their smell, taste, sound they make or by touch. It is, however, impossible to identify the colors while closing the eyes. Thus, of all the sense organs, the human eye is the most significant one as it enables us to see the beautiful, colorful world around us. Okay, so the most significant sense organ is the human eye. The human eye is like a camera. Its lens system forms an image on the light sensitive screen which is called as the retina. Light enters the eye through a thin membrane called as the cornea. Now see the figure. See the figure. Figure 11.1. Okay, from the figure only we are going to study. The outermost part of the human eye is called as cornea. So what is cornea? The outermost part of the human eye. Okay, you can write in the rough also the parts of the human eye that we are studying. Parts of human eye and their function. Okay, the first part is cornea. See in the figure. Okay, and then write down it is the outermost. It is the outermost thin membrane okay is the cornea, and maximum refraction takes place at the outer surface of cornea. Maximum refraction takes place at the outer surface of cornea. Okay, then the next part, it forms a transparent bulge on the front surface of the eyeball as shown in figure 11.1. The eyeball is approximately spherical in shape with a diameter about 2.3 centimeter. Most of the refraction for the light rays entering the eye occurs at the outer surface of the cornea. Okay, then behind it is the crystalline lens. Okay, then the second part is the lens. Okay, now this lens, it is not made up of glass as in the lab you see, that is made up of glass. Okay, this is not made up of glass. Okay, it is made up of flexible material. Okay, a jelly type of material is there which contains protein. So you can write down lens. It is a convex lens. It is a convex lens which is transparent. And made of flexible material like jelly, Jelly, like jelly, made up of proteins. Okay, so the outermost part, cornea. Then we have studied the eye lens. Eye lens is converging in nature, that is it is the convex lens, and if it is the convex lens, which type of image will it will form? It will form real and inverted image. Okay, then let's read it. Okay, we find a structure called as the iris behind the cornea. Iris is a dark muscular diaphragm that controls the size of the pupil, and the pupil regulates and controls the amount of light entering into the eye. Okay, so here. So you can write in the eye lens, you can also write down that as it is converging, it forms real and inverted image. Okay, as it is a convex lens, it forms inverted image. And where is it formed? It is formed on the retina. We'll come to it later. Okay, then the next part is just behind the cornea is iris. What is iris? Iris, it is a muscular diaphragm, dark muscular diaphragm, which is having a hole in it. This hole is called as the pupil. Okay, and what is the function of the pupil? It controls the amount of light entering into the eye. Okay, if we go in dark room, the size of the pupil will become large. Why? Because more light has to be entered. And if we go out in the bright light, like outside in the sun, the size of the pupil will become very small because we require small amount of light. So this is adjusted by itself. The size of the pupil, its function is to control the amount of light inside the eye, entering inside the eye. So write the next part, iris. Write down iris. It is a dark muscular diaphragm. It is a dark muscular diaphragm between the cornea and the lens. Between the cornea and the lens. Write down, it controls the size of the pupil. It controls the size of the pupil. It controls the size of the pupil. Okay, now what is pupil? Pupil is the small hole in the iris. So next part, write down pupil. Write down, it is a small hole. It is a small hole in the iris. In the iris through which the light enters into the eyes. Through which the light enters the eye. Write down the function of pupil. The function of pupil is to control the amount of light entering into the eye. The function of pupil is to control the amount of light entering into the eye. Okay, so in the dim light, size of the pupil will become large, and in the bright light, the size of the pupil will become small. Okay, how is it controlling? As we go in the dim light, that is in the dark room, in the dark, the size of the pupil will become large, whereas in the bright light, that is outside in the sun, the size of the pupil will become small. Okay, so we have studied cornea, the outermost surface of the eye, the transparent surface, and most of the refraction is taking place on the outer surface of the cornea. Just behind it, after that is the lens, crystalline lens, eye lens, which is also called as the eye lens. It is made up of some flexible tissues. Okay, it's not made up of glass, it's made up of some flexible tissues, and it is convex lens. So, as it's a converging lens, it forms inverted image. Okay, then just behind the cornea is iris. Iris is the muscular diaphragm, and what is its function? To control the size of the pupil. And what is pupil? Pupil is the hole at the center of the iris. And what is the function of the eye? What is the function of the pupil? It is to control the amount of light entering into the eye. Okay, depending whether we are in the dark room or in the bright light. Okay, so here it is given that the pupil regulates and controls the amount of light entering into the eye. The eye lens forms an inverted real image of the object on the retina. Okay, so the next part is retina. Okay, before retina, there is one more, ciliary muscles. Okay, this eye lens, okay, it is not suspended in air inside. It is held by some muscles. Some muscles are holding this eye lens. And these muscles are called as the ciliary muscles. Okay, so ciliary muscles are the muscles which are holding the eyelids. So write the next part, ciliary muscles, C-I-L-I-A-R-Y, ciliary muscles. Write down, they hold the eyelids, they hold the eyelids. And their function, and their function is to change the focal length of the eyelids, is to change the focal length of the eyelids. Okay. Okay, so this eye lens is held by some muscles. These muscles are called as the ciliary muscles, and what is their function? They will change the focal length of the eyelids. Okay, when we are seeing the very close by object, that is, you are reading a book, you are reading the printed letters on the book. Which objects you are seeing? The nearby objects. And you can also see very far away objects which are at infinity. So it means the focal length of the eye lens is changing. When we are viewing the nearby objects, the focal length decreases. When we are viewing the far away objects, the focal length of the eye lens increases. And which part is doing it? Ciliary muscles are changing the focal length of the eye lens. Okay, then the next part is retina. What is retina? Retina is the screen where the image is formed. Okay, so write down the next part, retina. Write down, it is a light sensitive surface, LIGHT. It is a light sensitive surface, that is when the light falls on it, it becomes very sensitive, it becomes activated. Okay, whenever the light is falling on the retina, it gets activated. So first write down, it is the light sensitive surface of the eye, where the image is formed, where the image is formed. Write down, the retina contains light sensitive cells, LIGHT, light sensitive cells, CELLS. It contains light sensitive cells named as rods and cones, named as rods and cones. Okay, so it is the retina consists of some cells which are called as rods and cones. Okay, now here rods respond to the intensity of the light, whereas the cones respond to the illumination. Okay, leave it about this. Okay, so and there are optic nerves also. So write the next part, optic nerve, optic nerve. Okay, now what happens when the light falls on this light sensitive cells? This light is converted into electrical signals. Okay, light is falling on the retina. The image is formed on the retina. So obviously light is falling on the retina. When the light falls on the retina, these are the cells, rods and cones. So what they will do? They will convert the light energy into electrical energy. Okay, that is, this light signals will be converted into the electrical signals, and these electrical signals are carried to our brain. Okay, with the help of optic nerves. There are some nerves which are taking these electrical signals to the brain. Brain finally interprets that this object is seen, and then you are able to see that object. So write the next part, optic nerve. Write down, when the light falls on the retina, when the light falls on the retina, the light sensitive cells gets activated. The light sensitive cells gets activated and generate electrical signals. Write down, these signals are sent to the brain. These signals are sent to the brain by optic nerves. By optic nerves. Write down, the brain interprets the signals. The brain interprets the signals. And finally we can see that object. And finally we can see that object. Okay, so these are some of the important parts of the human eye. The first one, cornea, where maximum refraction occurs. The light enters into the eye, goes to the eye lens. Eye lens is converging lens. Okay, so it will form real and inverted image where on the retina. Okay, you can see in the figure, it's given in the book. So the image is formed on the retina. Okay, then there are few more parts. Just behind the cornea is iris, which is having a hole in its center. This hole is called as the pupil, and iris is controlling the size of the pupil, and the pupil controls the amount of light entering into the eye. Okay, then is the retina, where the image is formed. It consists of some light sensitive cells called as rods and cones. When the light falls on it, they get activated and they will convert the light signal into the electrical signal. These electrical signals go to the brain with the help of optic nerves. Brain interprets and then you are able to see that object. Okay, is that clear? Okay, next we come to the formation of the image, how this image is formed. Okay, whenever you are looking at any object, what is happening? Okay, let's first read it. What's given in the book, Power of Accommodation. The eye lens is composed of fibrous jelly-like material. Okay, we have already studied that. Eye lens is not made up of glass. It is made up of fibrous jelly-like material. Its curvature can be modified to some extent by the ciliary muscles. Okay, curvature is adjusted means this is our convex lens, eye lens. The curvature, it can become thicker. It becomes thicker or it can become thin also, depending which object we are looking. So the curvature is being adjusted. Curvature means this bulging out part, it may be more bulged out or less bulged out. So this is adjusted by the ciliary muscles. Okay, as the curvature is adjusted, it means the focal length is adjusted, as we have written. The function of the ciliary muscle, which is holding the eye lens, is to change the focal length of the eye lens. Okay, now how it is changing? First let's read it, then I'll explain. The change in the curvature of the eye lens can thus change its focal length. When the muscles are relaxed, the lens becomes thick. Thus its focal length increases. This enables us to see the distant objects clearly. Okay, so what is happening when you are looking at very far away objects, that is at infinity, when you are looking at sun, moon, or a distant tree, any distant object when you are looking. What happens to the eye lens? What happens to the ciliary muscles? These ciliary muscles are relaxed. Okay, they get relaxed and they will make the eye lens thin. Eye lens becomes thin means its focal length increases. Focal length increases means you can see the far away object. So when the ciliary muscles gets relaxed, the curvature decreases. That is, you can say that the lens becomes thin and you can see the very far away objects. Whereas on the other side, when you are looking at a nearby object, that is when you are reading the book or reading your copy, the printed letters, what happens then? The curvature, that is the eye lens becomes thicker. The curvature increases, it gets more bulged out. Okay, so its focal length decreases and you can see the close by objects very clearly. So whenever you are looking at the far away objects, the ciliary muscles, they relax, and as they relax, the lens becomes thin. For a thin lens, the focal length is more. So the focal length increases. Whereas when you are looking at a nearby object, the ciliary muscles contract. The ciliary muscles contract and they will make the eyelids thicker. The curvature increases, the eyelids becomes thicker and its focal length decreases. For a thick lens, the focal length is less and its focal length decreases and you are able to see the nearby objects. Okay, so this how the focal length of the eyelids is changed with the help of the ciliary muscles. Ciliary muscles either they relax or they contract. When you are looking far away object, the ciliary muscles will relax and the lens will become thin. So its focal length increases. Okay, and hence you can see the far away objects clearly. Focal length increases, so you can see the far away objects. Whereas on the contrary, on the other side, when you are looking at a nearby object, the ciliary muscles contract, which makes the eyelids more thicker, that is its curvature increases. So the lens becomes thick and what happens as the lens becomes thick? Are you getting it? I think you can answer it. Okay, so when you are looking at a nearby object, the ciliary muscles, they contract, the eyelids becomes thick and its focal length decreases, so you can see the nearby object clearly. Is it clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, yes, one yes.
Ma'am.
Okay, very good. Okay, so thus its focal length increases. This enables to see the distant objects clearly. When you are looking at the objects closer to the eye, the ciliary muscles contract. This increases the curvature of the eyelids. The eyelids becomes thicker. The focal length decreases. This enables us to see the nearby objects. So you can see the nearby objects also clearly, as well the far away objects also clearly. Okay, why? Because the focal length of the eye lens is changing. Okay, like the lens, the glass lens which you see in the lab, its focal length is fixed. If you have got a glass lens of focal length 20 centimeter, you cannot change it. Okay, but the focal length of the eye lens can be changed with the help of ciliary muscles. And how it is changing? Either the ciliary muscles are relaxing or contracting. Relaxing means you are seeing the far away object. Okay, so when you are looking the far away object, the lens will become thin. Okay, one thing you should note down: thin lens, more focal length. Thick lens, less focal length. Okay, so when the lens becomes thin, its focal length increases, so you can see the far away objects. On the other side, when you are looking at the close by objects, nearby objects, the lens becomes thick. Why? Because the ciliary muscles contract, so the lens becomes thick and the focal length will decrease and you can see the nearby objects clearly. So this ability of the eyelids to adjust its focal length is called as accommodation. So what is accommodation? The ability of the eyelids to change its focal length. Okay, otherwise there is no other lens like the glass lens which we use in the lab. Its focal length cannot be changed. Okay, only the eye lens can change its focal length. However, the focal length of the eye lens cannot be decreased below a certain limit. Try to read a printed page by holding it very close to your eyes. You may see that the image is blurred or you feel strain in the eye. To see an object comfortably and distinctly, you must hold it about 25 centimeters from the eyes. Okay, so below a certain limit, okay, the curvature cannot be changed. That is, you cannot see the objects clearly which are at a distance less than 25 centimeters. Only when placed at the 25 centimeters, that object can be seen clearly. Okay, so what is this distance, 25 centimeters? We call it as the nearby distance. Okay, whereas the very far away objects which are at infinity also, that also you can see. You can see the sun, moon, stars, everything. Okay, so the very far away objects means at infinity it could be seen, and very close by objects means placed at a distance of 25 centimeters. So what is the range of the human vision? It is from 25 centimeters to infinity. Okay, so to see an object comfortably and distinctly, you must hold it about 25 centimeter from the eyes. The minimum distance at which the objects can be seen more distinctly without any strain is called as the least distance of distinct vision. Least distance of distinct vision. Okay, so it is at the least distance, less than 25 centimeters, you will have a strain in your eye. So, least distance of distinct vision, clearly seen, is how much? 25 centimeter. It is also called as the near point of the eye. Okay, either you can call it as this 25 centimeters from the eye, you can call it as least distance of distinct vision, or it can be called as the near point. For a young adult, with a normal vision, the near point is about 25 centimeter. Okay, this we are talking about normal human eye without any specs. Okay, for a normal human eye, the least distance of distinct vision is 25 centimeters. But those who are using the spectacles, they may not be having the least distance as 25 centimeters. That is why they have to wear this spectacles. They have got some defect in their eye. So for a young adult with a normal vision, the least distance of distinct vision, or you may say the near point is 25 centimeter. The farthest point up to which the eye can see the objects clearly is called as the far point of the eye. Okay, that is called as far point, near point, far point. It is infinity for a normal human eye. You may know here a normal eye can see the objects clearly between 25 centimeters to infinity. Sometimes the crystalline lens of the people at old age becomes milky and cloudy. This we call it as cataract, and this causes partial or complete loss of vision. But it is possible to restore vision through a cataract surgery. Okay, so sometimes what happens at the old age, the lens becomes cloudy. Okay, it becomes milky and cloudy. It doesn't, otherwise the eye lens is transparent. Okay, at the old age, what happens? It becomes milky and cloudy. And this condition we call it as cataract. Okay, so this will cause to partial or complete loss of vision. But nowadays, it is easily possible to restore the vision with the help of a surgery that we call it as the cataract surgery. So here we have studied about power of accommodation or the accommodation. What is it? The ability of the eye lens to change its focal length. Okay, and who is changing the focal length? The muscles which are holding it, ciliary muscles which are holding it, they are changing the focal length of the eye lens. They either relax or contract. Depending upon that, it changes the focal length of the eye lens. And this change of the focal length of the eye lens, we call it as accommodation. Okay, and then we have studied near point, far point. Near point is 25 centimeters, far point is infinity. This range of the normal human vision will be 25 centimeters to infinity. Okay, then we have studied about cataract. Cataract is the eye lens becomes cloudy and it can be restored by the cataract surgery. It can be cured by cataract surgery.